So the province moved into step one, as you know, at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, June 11th. And as part of Ontario's roadmap to reopen, the province identified that they would remain in step one for at least 21 days so that they could evaluate any impacts on key public health and health system indicators. So if we were to move into step two of the roadmap as originally planned, we would be moving into it on July 2nd. This is contingent on a couple of things, though. One, that at the end of those 21 days, the province has vaccinated 70% of adults with 1 dose and 20% of adults with 2 doses, and that there are positive trends in public health and health system indicators. So we are waiting further direction from the province on this, along with the associated updated regulations, and staff are poised to help out and get communications out as soon as we know more on this front. Regarding vaccinations, so we have our upcoming clinics. Actually, no, sorry, we had the clinic today at June 21st at the community center, and we are awaiting additional dates to be added in Noddle in July. So we're expecting 2 more dates in July, but there hasn't been formal notification of this yet. So I should be able to provide information on that soon. Regarding our vaccine statistics, so effective today, just before noon, the region's website is reporting that approximately 64.8% of Niagara residents have been vaccinated with their first dose, with approximately 391,000 doses administered. And we're also now at 16.9% of Niagara residents having had both doses, so that would complete their series of vaccinations. Regarding what's happening here in Noddle and what's open and what's closed, a few things to update you on tonight. So I'll start with lacrosse, minor soccer, and minor baseball. So lacrosse, minor soccer, and minor baseball are able to begin practicing and training today at the Virgil Sports Park and Memorial Park because this is permitted within step one. So no gameplay is allowed during step one. However, the practice is permissible, and that requires the physical distancing of 2 meters still for any person using the facilities outside, and a physical distancing of 3 meters is required where any person engages in the physical exercise within an amenity. So that would include the training session, the sport or game. The team sports must not be practiced or played within an amenity, though, with the exception of training sessions for members of a sports team that don't include games or scrimmage games. So just want to thank our local organizers for working hard to provide a safe place for the kids to play while maintaining all of the provincial regulations and following public health guidance. So in regards to water features, the Noddle pools are opening for the preseason in June. Memorial Park was open this past weekend on June 19th and 20th, and will be open again June 26th to July 2nd for the preseason. And St. David's Pool will open for preseason on June 28th to July 2nd. The wading pool is going to open commencing on June 26th and will be open until Labor Day. And then, as you know, the splash pad at Virgil Sparks Park still is open, and it remains open from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. daily. So lots of options to keep cool as the warmer weather approaches, and we've had lots of warm weather so far. If you want more information, there's hours of operation, opening dates, and additional info that's available on the town's website. Summer camps, we have 9 weeks of summer camp being offered for children's ages 6 to 12, and lots of themes to choose from Hawaiian to Christmas in July to cool critters and much more. So again, there's information and frequently asked questions on our website, and that's at noddle.org/content/camps. Washrooms, we still have our public washrooms at Memorial Park on Market Street and at Simcoe Park, Queens Royal Park, and Virgil Sports Park. They're open 7 days a week from 8 until 8 and still being regularly cleaned and disinfected for safety. The community center remains closed at this time, so soon, hopefully, we'll be able to open more indoor amenities, but for now, it remains closed while we're in step one. And this is very exciting. The ambassador program is starting up again. So following the overwhelming success of the program's summer and fall pilots in 2020, we have the Shaw Guild volunteers now preparing to return to the streets of the Heritage District, and that's beginning on Friday, July 9th. You can see the ambassadors between noon and 4 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, weather permitting, of course, and they will be there to welcome our visitors, provide information about the town, and educate the public regarding provincial regulations and public health recommendations. Just a reminder, though, that the objective of this program remains to provide info and education only, so they won't be enforcing. Enforcement will continue to be addressed through our bylaw enforcement officers. And I'm told that the Shaw Guild volunteers who participated in last year's program are very eager to return to greet the visitors. We hope to repeat the success of last year's program, which received a ton of positive feedback from visitors and volunteers alike. So great big thank you to the volunteers for their passion and their dedication. We're delighted for the continuation of this exciting program. Regarding our traffic, we saw an increase in traffic over the weekend from last weekend. The total of incoming cars this past Saturday and Sunday was 12,332. The weekend prior was 11,806 incoming cars, so that's about a 4% increase, which is to be expected at this time of year. Weekend bylaw staff expressed that the weekend was very busy in Old Town again, and we saw parking officers issuing 166 parking tickets this weekend. And as the province reopens, we can expect that parking will require more attention from parking staff, as it typically does at this point in the season. So late last week, bylaw staff worked with the outlet mall to adjust some of the stores' 15% capacities. In most cases, the outlet stores were following the regulations about the number of patrons, but in some situations, the stores had inaccuracies within their capacity calculations. The information will be valuable not only for step one, but also for step two. So it'll move from the 15% to the 25% capacity, as we're told right now. And this will make it easier for retailers as they transition from the step one to the step two that we put in that effort with them at this point in time. The patio program continues to go well with more patio permits issued late last week. We also saw very busy parks this weekend, but with the outdoor limits now at 10, the volume of people was more manageable, and it appeared that most of the large groups were staying within their limits. Much like last week, the barbecues in the park remain a concern, but staff are there to help educate, and there were a couple of barbecues that needed to be shut down this past weekend. So this will be the third week in a row where I'm updating that the COVID complaint phone was surprisingly quiet. So it's starting to become the norm. There were only a few minor issues and complaints were minimal. And of course, our enforcement staff continue to work to ensure that they're available to respond to any COVID-19 complaints that come in. And a lot of their time remains focused on addressing inquiries related to what the province might permit under the roadmap and what we might anticipate in step two based on the information that's currently available. On to some of our good news. So we have our drive-through tulip sale coming up, and that will be hosted at the community center tomorrow from 10 a.m. until they sell out. It's $5 a dozen, and it's bring your own bag, and it's cash only. But all proceeds will go to the town's tree fund. Our strawberry social, that's upcoming very soon as well. That's scheduled for Monday, June 28th. And this year's strawberry social is going to be offered as an afternoon tea in a safe, contact-free drive-through and delivery format. All of the participating residents will receive an individual box full of baked treats and tea and, of course, fresh strawberries. So today is your final day to register. And last I heard, we had well over 300 seniors sign up for this event. So it should be a great event with lots of participation. In addition to the 300 registered participants, we will also be delivering boxes to the over 200 residents in our long-term care facilities. So that will be a nice addition to this year's program. As you can imagine, this requires a lot of collaborative effort to make this happen. So I just want to extend a thank you to those people working hard to make this event a great success again this year for our very valued seniors. The Lord Mayor's Youth Advisory Council, You Got This bags that happened this past Saturday, June 19th. And it was a very successful drive-through event, again at the community center, where free bags were given to 80 local youth between the ages of 13 and 18. So their bags were filled with lots of great donations from local businesses and sponsors in an effort to show our local youth that we as a municipality care about them and we wanted to cheer them up in this very difficult time for teens. The theme of the bags, as I mentioned earlier, was You Got This. So big thank you to the Lord Mayor's Youth Advisory Council for their work on this excellent initiative. And of course, we have Canada Day coming up. So staff has set up a page on the town's website highlighting the various activities occurring in Niagara-on-the-Lake for Canada Day. Some of these initiatives include Friends of Fort George's Virtual Canada Day, and then the Canada Day, the Niagara Way events. So just because we can't have a large gathering all together like we might like to, it doesn't mean we can't celebrate Canada Day here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. So for more information, you can visit noddle.com/Canada Day. And that will give you more information. And the last thing I'd like to say today is, in addition to it being National Indigenous History Month, today is actually National Indigenous Peoples Day. And this year marks the 25th anniversary of the establishment of what was originally National Aboriginal Day and has been renamed to National Indigenous Peoples Day, and that happened in 2017. So today is an opportunity to recognize rich cultures, traditions, and heritage of Indigenous peoples. And I think it's important that we all do our part to preserve, respect, and sustain Indigenous cultures while enhancing our collective understanding of the Indigenous peoples.